That's Blink working again with some hero for like trying these executions, trying these isolations here versus Entity7.
It's interesting that you bring up the Cho, because I feel like we've seen a lot more Chos this season than we've seen of Kaleas, and I almost feel like with the kit, Cho's almost turned into like the poor man's Cho when it when it comes against Kalea and what she can do. Like Cho, you need to get in there, you need to find the angle perfectly to be able to kick them back into your team. Whereas Kalea, you basically jump on them and then you press Alt and you just kind of steer it backwards. And there's very little that you can mess up with that to try to bring them back here. But we see more Chos out there more often than not. And and that's always kind of confused me when it comes to, maybe it's just a comfort thing for a lot of these roams where they've been playing with Cho for so long that it's just something that they like to pull out there. But it would be interesting to see if this is something that DreamMax want to continue on with that kind of that isolation like you were talking about. Cho's a good one. Atlas has been another one that I don't feel like has paid off as well. But it's another. When you're talking about isolations, those are the kind of picks that you're kind of looking for. Those heroes that can get in, snatch somebody or the team up, and then your team's able to do a ton of damage and output to them.
Yeah, Glue would also kind of be falling into that, right? He kind of goes back there and kind of be that annoying force and kind of take someone away from the fight. And so I think that is a choice here, but they're leaving Freya open. But then, like you said, Freya's open now. They don't care because it seems like they always have the counter, the Phobius here. So if they do snatch up this Freya, that it's not gonna work out in their favor. So
what did I tell you guys? What did I tell? I told you, I was like, maybe one good thing about Freya being picked and losing the game. So like maybe the teams now are looking for like in the other way, you know, like, okay, Freya's not so invincible like at all. So yeah, so maybe we can focus on another hero or another situation here. But now DreamMax has the chance to get Freya on the goal lane here for Zeus. The question is Zeus being comfortable playing with Freya in the gold lane here? Because, okay, we're not so familiarized like with some new gold laners here, like working with two Mosleymen on the gold lane. But as we were seeing, DreamMax is more concerned about like the jungle and the mid lane, and maybe they can work on the gold lane like later.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It just took one game to drop Freya from like S tier to like D in the eyes of these two teams.
It's over.
Yeah, just like it's completely,
you have Phobius open,
completely gone. She's standing the way of. She's back there with Maya and Aurora right now, as far as like priority in these picks coming along right now. You got the Fredrin and the Eve out there as well. You don't have the scariness of the Lapu for Entity7 because I believe they used that earlier in the first match here. And I'm actually very curious as to where we're going to go with Shaikiche here. Definitely not allowing her to pick up the Kimmy. That's been one of her favorite pickups. And even after that, using it in the last game, they're going to take it off the board again here on the side of Entity7. And I'm wondering where we go from here. We've got I think as far as tankiness on the side of DreamMax, we've got that pretty much out there. So now we're kind of looking for possibly a CC and damage. I'd probably veer more towards the side of damage for the side of what we can use to try to fill out the rest of our composition from the side of DreamMax.
Yeah, they have the Eve there for Shaikiche, so that is the damage that they can get down there. So I guess they're using the Alice and the Fredrin as the front to kind of give her that space so that she can do what she can, because she does have a pretty good positioning. But they're trying to probably on the side of Entity7 get that chip so they can give that surprise factor somehow, so it could pop up anywhere with the group here. So
yeah, so now like here, like analyzing DreamMax is focusing on the mid lane here, like banning Forza, that's okay, we're respecting that, but Kadita here now, like with that could be one of Shin's potential here for Entity7. But now, the last ban here was Marcel to avoid a DreamMax to have this kind of a problem here to Blink. I honestly don't see Blink playing with Marcel here, especially in with his playing about his playing style. But everything is possible. But now let's see what DreamMax is about to choose. It's going to be like the roaming now. Who's going to be like, I think that, okay, maybe Hylos here, but not only choosing the goal lane, not yet choosing the goal lane here. So okay, so it comes with Hylos here on that composition to like allow even with Fredrin and Ivy to get this move speed and like to trying to benefit that composition. When it comes to DreamMax, it might be a good idea with Blink.
I mean, this is kind of a toxic composition coming out from DreamMax too, because you've got the real world manipulation to trap them, the slow coming out from Hylos. Fredrin can come up there, get some aggro from them, all the while Alice getting behind them to get the Throne of Ruin. And I'm looking for like, where's that bursty damage? What's the burst gonna come out from Zeus here? I do like on the side the answer from Entity7. I feel like Gord has a decent amount of disengage when he has warning. You know, not once they already land on him, it's over. But with the amount of with Mystic Pools, I believe it is, that he can just, or no, the ball that he can throw out there, he can just basically throw that out there a ton of times.
That's what I figured. Bruno was the only thing. You said Bursty, and I was like, oh, Bruno, I see that they banned that Claude and the carry, so they're gonna pick that up.
Yeah. We're ready for the burst here, so here comes with Bruno. You know? Sometimes, like at some point of the game, especially when it comes to the team fight, we can hear something like "Go from Bruno" or something like that. But when it comes to like this, both teams' execution and composition, you have Akashi now working on Favio. It's a good way here to stack on Bruno, especially, or Ivy here. By the time that they don't have so. At least Shaikichi with Ivy here, because Bruno has his cape. Haidon Bishin working on Phantom Steam and Shin with this stun situation coming up so far. So everything is going to be possible on this game here, my friend Private.
Yeah, and it's gonna be very interesting, especially because I feel like one of his shining points has been a Bruno. So if anybody is gonna know how to counter him, I feel like it's going to be Doom. So they're gonna have to be very careful about that as we move into, I believe this is game 4 of our series here of Entity7 taking on DreamMax. Still game point for Entity7, but signs of life from DreamMax beginning to show.
Yes, you are totally right here, my friend, and taking the time here, taking the opportunity to say hello from our friends from Philippines and Indonesia. Selamat datang, everyone from Indonesia and Philippines here. Oh, stun here on the mid lane, Blink. Oh my goodness. This horse is on fire.
Yeah, and that's just coming from Shen, and that's the value. That's why Gord has really moved up. You've taken off a lot of those assassins that can really close the distance on the Gord and really shut him down, and now you have this menace in the mid lane that can basically spam out so much a CC and the true damage. Oh, speaking of which, Shaikichi, that is I'd have never thought I would see something like that from Shaikichi, who really overestimated the amount of health that she has and gets taken down in the mid lane.
For me, the only answer that comes through my mind here, Private, and she got disconnected. Because I didn't get it here, like her movement on the mid lane, you know, like 1v2, especially when you were fighting versus a Gord here, when it comes to the stun skill coming out from the mid lane, it was really strange here, Private.
Yeah, another thing too, when it comes to Doom and this engagement type of composition that you have from DreamMax, I almost forgot about Doom, the fact that he has that spear that he can use to push them away when they try to engage on him as well. So that's another thing that can kind of come into play as Shaikichi and King now gonna go ahead and put some damage onto this turtle. Not much of an offense mounting from the side of Entity7. They're gonna go ahead and give that one away for free.
Yes, first turtle here now coming from a DreamMax so far. And the gold lead here is only 500 for Entity7, especially because of the kill on the mid lane here on Shaikichi. But it could be better for Entity7, and at the same time it could be worse for DreamMax because the kill went to Vagin. You know, it wasn't for a Shin, for example. But oh, here comes! Oh
yeah, they tried. Zeus saw that coming from a mile away, was going to go ahead and use the soccer tackle to get away, and when they dove on him under tower, able to utilize that flicker as well. Vagin on the backside is going to get discovered in his bush. Demonic forces landing onto Goo, who is not really too much afraid of it at this point. Both teams kind of being very respectful, slow playing it so far. Just the initial kill there by Entity7. Oh, actually, we have a Phantom Steed coming out from the side of DreamMax there. No, it's not. It's coming out from Entity7. Now, Glorious Pathway laid down, followed up by the damage. Shaikichi almost gets bursted down. Is not going to be able to continue the real world manipulation. What a great read coming out, and Doom with the SOD able to find the kill onto Shaikichi.
Yes, when it comes to the battle here with two horses, the only thing that I can say to you, Private, is like, because here, the battle was on fire for both teams. But now, I have to mention, because I saw like Shin getting a stun on a Blink on the mid lane. Meanwhile, like they were heading for the top side here to get on the team fight. It was like a time enough for Entity7 not only to survive but to guarantee the kill. That was why, like, you made a confusion like with the horse, like, okay, it would be the Phantom Scene or the Glorious Path. It was a Phantom Scene that because Blink came up later on the team fight, but now the turtle.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and start on it, and King going to be able to go ahead and secure that turtle. Down comes the Appraiser's Wrath. Blink able to find a kill onto Vagwin. 2-2 apiece here right now. Tied up for both of these, but that turtle going over to the side of DreamMax.
Yeah, but now here we're seeing the 1v1 Akashi versus Goo. It's Alice, you know, she doesn't have any trouble here, like especially when it comes to this Blood Banquet or the Fogging that she can work on the raid position. But it's still continue the battle on the top side here. Like, okay, like the golden, like a gold, a knight here on Saint Seiya. There are two, like this battle here, 1v1. But the focus now is on the next objective. Maybe, yeah, the third turtle heading up on the downside of the river. So both teams are heading up. But here, now we're seeing Hydon Bush and Akashi. But Goo knows that because he used the first skill here to get this info. And now you're seeing glowing wand on Shin's hand at this point of the game.
Yeah, Shaikichi needs to be very careful about the positioning. I feel like Shin has like a radar and tunnel vision right now. He's waiting for Shaikichi to lay down that real world manipulation so that he can immediately get the stun and the Mystic Gush. Doom with a little bit of a push away. Oh, on the back end. You have a Glorious Pathway that's out, followed by the real world manipulation on the backside. King able to find a kill onto Vagwin as Hydon Bush returns the favor to King. Zeus on the back end is gonna have to flicker away as a kill onto Hide on Bush. 2 down for the side of Entity7. Blink and Doom scrapping it out as Doom finds a kill of his own, and down goes Akashi. 2-3. Entity7 takes 3 deaths in that fight.
That could be worse here for Entity7 because their team fight was so split it up here, and Akashi was like buying so much time for that composition. He was attacking here, causing damage on 2 players on DreamMax. Meanwhile, Doom was neutralizing Blink near the red, the orange buff here. But now this turtle is going to be on DreamMax. The third one here, no fight back coming up from Entity7. But the game, it is still tied up for both teams. The macro, okay, first tower coming out for DreamMax on the bottom lane here, but it's still Entity7 is on the game. Because if you check out the gold lead here, there's no gold lead, only like 600 or 700 to DreamMax. It's not a big deal so far.
Yeah, and when you look at the kind of split up of the kills that are coming out here, I want to say you've got 2 on Doom, you've got 4 assists on Shin. Hide Bush has a kill of his own. I think there were a decent amount on the DreamMax side that were on the roam when it came to the kills. Hylos, I think, had 2 or 3 kills on his side, so starting to take kills away from his side, which is something that we were talking about before, especially when it comes to like min-maxing the games that are this close. Those kills and who they go to. Ooh, Glorious Pathway comes out, and you can see the portals coming out for this fight down at the mid. Down goes the Bruno. Are we gonna be able to find the damage that we need? DreamMax looking for a disengagement. Blink goes down as Akashi finds the kill onto his side. Goo fighting off 3, 4 members, makes it, and it is not long before he gets taken down himself as well. A double kill for Akashi.
That was a high ground here coming out from Entity7, getting down 3 kills. A clever move, a very good initiation, especially with Vagin and Chip calling the rest of the teammates here. I think that the focus could be neutralizing Shaikichi, but once again, she was like very good positioned. But it wasn't enough for like DreamMax guarantee some kind of advantage in the last team fight. It was the 3 kills here for Entity7. Now the goal lead 1k and a half, and now the first lord on the topper side of the river. Okay, 2 teams here that like the all players are alive, so the first one here to start this objective, I think that is going to be a very interesting point.
Yeah, it's funny too, because I think we discussed before Shin and the way he uses that real world manipulation. He wasn't using it at the beginning of fights. It was almost like 15 seconds after the fight had been decided is when he was using it. Here, Shaikichi keeps making a target of herself. Every single time that real world manipulation comes down, and there's another SOD! Lands right onto Shaikichi. Now coming in with the damage back in, able to find a kill onto King on the backside. Hide on Bush, finding a kill on the Zeus. Taking out Shaikichi, and Goo gets taken down as well by Akashi. That is 4 down for the side of DreamMax. Not a single death taken by Entity7, who are now looking to push their advantage.
What a disaster here for DreamMax, now losing 4 players. The Lord, okay, they got the Lord, but the price was too high here, Private. Once again, now immediately like neutralized by Entity7. Working on the macro once again. No like high, only the high ground towers now on the mid and the top side here for DreamMax. One more good team fight for Entity7, and they won more.
Yeah, you can see the towers beginning to be pushed here. I feel like Shaikichi, they just have all focus is on her. Every single time that real world manipulation comes down, you see the huge focus come down. Even the SOD, the Spear of Destruction from out of nowhere, from across the map, Doom coming in to try to find the kill onto Shaikichi. They are definitely have a big focus on the mid laner of DreamMax here. Not just that, but I mean, a great pushing power here now as you take a look at the macro. I believe 6 towers down for the side of DreamMax. Only the high grounds remain. Entity7 having a beautiful game here thus far.
Shin stole the purple buff. Analyze that's out this battle here for the guaranteed buff. Shin with the guard stole that one like here for Entity7. That means like the things that DreamMax are struggling right now here, especially on the macro, especially on the map information. They have no information here because they don't have the towers. Only the high ground towers here left for the Dragon Boys. The situation is not so good for DreamMax, but of course, once again here they have Shaikichi, they have Goo with Alice with a very good late game. But you have to trust, especially like on Blink with the Glorious Path here, to get a very good initiation. But Entity7 is aware of that like possibly situation, so they like are playing together. Only Doom like is splitting up on the gold lane here on the bottom line, so everything here can happen, especially for DreamMax.
When it comes to these fights too, I was expecting more of a backline engagement coming in from DreamMax. However, what I'm seeing is I feel like the fights are being confined to basically the front line of DreamMax. So close to Shaikitse as well. We're not really engaging or doing or being able to get to that back line to be able to find Shin, to be able to find Doom, who's usually doing a great job of the split pushing here as well. Now, King gonna go ahead, start onto this turtle, while the rest of DreamMax going ahead, getting positioned around, looking for the rest of the members. Vagin up at the top, down to about 50% is this a Lord. Pop-up goes out there. King continuing to manage here, 50%. Ooh, Mystic Gus is out. Laying on the King, and Shin bursts him down. Real world manipulation comes out. Is that going to be enough damage onto the backside? Shaikitse says no. Is going to have to look for the disengagement. Goo on the backside as well. Hide on Bush, putting out the damage. The 4 members of a DreamMax do have to look for that disengage, but the damage coming out from Entity7 is huge.
Yeah, so here once again, Entity7. That is that we can call trust. We can call confidence here. Because Doom was split up on the goal lane, on the bottom lane here. Okay, he tried to hit with the ultimate, but it was in vain. But once again, with the 1 player less, Entity7 was able to burst damage. It was able to getting kills, getting the Lord, and now the Lord heading up on the top side. Here comes the Rocky from Entity7.
Yeah, and that's kind of a disappointment too, because as soon as that Mystic Gush comes out, like, here's another Mystic Gush. And a perfect answer there from Shaikitse. And that's exactly what I was gonna say, is we need to be able, as soon as that Mystic Gush comes out, immediately find the answer, be able to push Shin away from laying down all of that damage. Now, Goo in a little bit of trouble does use the Throne of Ruin. The Lord now swinging away at the core. Blink and Zeus on the backside, looking for a way in here, are gonna find a way to burst down this Lord at their gates. DreamMax down 12-5 and about a 6K gold lead by Entity7.
Yeah, so super minions on the mid lane and the top lane here now for Entity7, and they decide to head back. They decide to the safest way. They decide to not to take any kind of risks here, to give any chance for a DreamMax so far. But now possibly they were waiting for another Lord or someone for a DreamMax getting lost in the jungle to finish this game.
Yeah, and right now, I feel like this is going to be a big learning point for the side of DreamMax. We've been talking about their macro gameplay. Ooh. On the back end, Vagin actually charging into the team. We do have a glorious pathway used defensively, and that is going to help DreamMax secure this escape. 38 seconds left on the Lord, and you can see on the back end, Doom going ahead with the split pushing ability out there. But one of the big things that's coming out is that a lot of these Mystic Gushes, they don't have an answer for Shen right now. He's sitting at 11 assists right now, 1, 0, and 11 right now. You could see up there, when it comes to the damage, he's been a huge part of it. Just narrowly ahead of Akasha, who's being able to slam onto the back lines there. But every single time he lays out that stun and bursts down King, there needs to be an immediate response coming out from DreamMax. Instead, what's happening is they get caught off guard. Here comes the glorious pathway, and they have to lay down the RWM without knowing where Shen is. And then Shen immediately comes in with the stun and is able to kind of burst them down and make little use of that RWM. They push Shaikitse away immediately. Ooh, coming in. Is he going to come in with that SOD as well? Mystic Gush onto the back end does catch a little bit of damage onto Shaikitse, who is going to lay down that real world manipulation, trying to lay the damage on the back end, who gets taken out. High down Bush, looking for the escape, and a bouncing soccer ball just narrowly takes off his head. He is able to find himself an escape. Glorious pathway on the back end. They're looking for Shin. They cannot nail him down. Look at the stuns coming out from that gourd, still putting out the damage, and now DreamMax have to find themselves a disengage.
Gourd is so annoying. Once again here, like the most of the players are trying to chase down Sheen, but once again with the stun, with the burst of damage here coming out from Gord, they weren't able to chase. They weren't able to get these kills here. That could be a good chance for a DreamMax, but once again, the Lord heading on the mid lane for Entity7. At least DreamMax is able to defend, not losing the last high ground tower here, so no more pressure is coming out from Entity7. But still, the game, the situation doesn't change at all for DreamMax. They have to find a spot. They have to find a pick off here, especially on Sheen. Sheen doesn't have a flicker, so maybe it's a good chance here to DreamMax trying to do something, but still it's not so easy because they don't have the high ground towers from mid lane or and top side. They don't have the information on their own jungle, so they have to be careful, and they only can respond the minion waves coming from every side.
Yeah, we've got 3 Radiant Armors built on the side of DreamMax. Unfortunately, at this late of a game, I feel like those Radiant Armors don't really protect you from the value you get out of a Gord, because I think after 4 ticks, he's going to be able to do true damage onto most of your team there. And that's been the biggest problem with King trying to hold these objectives in the turtle or in the Lord pits here. As he gets stunned, he gets immediately set upon by Shin and the damage that he outputs there, and there's a very little of a response coming out from the side of DreamMax. Now you're still behind, you're still kind of looking for some of those angles. We did have, I feel like it was a little bit more of a comfortable fight as we're starting to get later and later. They're starting to understand what they need to do in some of these fights, but it's just so hard, especially when you're this far behind. You're starting to get to a point though where the items are going to start evening out. You can only get 6 items, so I mean there comes a wall eventually where you're going to be able to catch up, and that's no longer going to be an excuse for losing a lot of these fights. Lord has now been involved. We got 2 seconds left on to that, and now you can see getting into position. Entity7 on the front line is vying and trying to get some vision onto this Lord. You see it being set upon already by Entity7. We're going to go ahead and start it. DreamMax possibly looking to kind of come in here, but they have a threat when it comes to Doom going throughout all of these lanes, making sure to clear it out. I don't think they're going to be able to counter this Lord.
Yeah, look at Sheen here. Sheen is like, it's so brave. He doesn't care about like any dangerous, possible dangerous situation at all on the jungler. He's playing like forward. He's playing like to get this info, to trying to stun someone in front of him. And not only that, it was enough to guarantee the Lord for Entity7 once again. So this evolved Lord. We are like with the 20 minutes on this game so far. When the Lord comes up, I think that Entity7 is going to cause more pressure.
Yeah, they're looking to kind of close up this push, possibly be able to line up this. You can see the bottom and the top lanes being cleared up. They want to line up these lanes so that all 3 are crashing at the same time. Make it so that DreamMax is not going to be able to funnel in all of this offense. Immediate big stun comes out from Shin on the back end. Now looking for that Mystic. Gosh, then it comes out there. Shaikitse almost gets blown apart. We do have an SOD onto the backside. I don't think that the Moskov actually wants to find that teleport just yet. Lord is swinging up onto the core. They have minions on their side, but still looking for the kills, looking for the opportunity that they can find to be able to push down DreamMax. Real manipulation comes out. Down goes Shin. A Throne of Ruin lands onto 2 members of Entity7, and DreamMax do find themselves a bit of breathing room.
It is not over yet. It's not the end for a DreamMax. They still survive. They got down here Shin, the Gord, the annoying Gord here. So now Entity7 decides to fight back, but oh, DreamMax one more.
Yeah, you see the damage coming out. King's got a decent amount that he's going to be able to withstand. The gourd has been the real issue through a lot of this game. I would be pushing my luck here. If I'm DreamMax with the gourd down, with Shin down, I would be pushing into all of these towers as much as I could. That's been the biggest problem, the biggest threat for King is all of that true damage that has been coming out of here. So we got the 21-minute mark. Shin still got 6 seconds before he comes up on the map.
Yeah, so now here Shin is going to back online again. 20 seconds for the next Lord Vagin. Okay, now he's able to survive. The Lord once again is going to be probably is going to be free for Entity7 because DreamMax, they are not allowed to like step too forward for from their base, you know, from that jungle here, because it might be too dangerous. Once again, Shin, look at him. Goo like was spotting him, but now Shin on Goo, bursting a lot of damage. But now Blink here. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have the Mystic Gush anymore. I almost feel like once that Gush comes out, I feel like the rest of the team should be finding an angle to try to get in there and find it, especially because Shin showed himself there. We need to be more responsive as a team from DreamMax if we want to be able to kind of get this game away from Entity7. Now down to about 50%. I don't think we're going to find too much. Another Mystic Gush comes out there on the King. Still no answer coming out from DreamMax, and they all get pushed back here as another Lord goes to the side of Entity7.
Yeah, but now like they're keeping just a little bit here to guarantee this Lord. I think that maybe to trying to synchronize the mini waves coming up from every side. But now here one Lord again. This Lord like from 23 minutes. I believe that's going to be like 100k Lord HP so far. Once again, Entity7 is going to like try to finish this game. The question is, will be DreamMax able to defend once again?
I mean, you've got no towers to protect you. The most you can hope is that they mess up when it comes to syncing up all of these waves, but you can see them already lining up on the side lanes, trying to make short work of all of these minions out there. So you're going to have the full pressure of all three lanes crashing down on DreamMax's core all at once. So Lord now crashing in as the side lanes begin their descent on in. Now coming in with the Demonic Force as well as the Phantom Steed coming in. Akashi takes a lot of damage. He's going to have to be able to get out of there. Damage going on to the core. Real world manipulation has been laid down. King able to find a kill onto Hide on Bush. The defense is in. DreamMax looking to be able to withstand this charge. They do have a Winter Crown out as well. And another successful defense for the side of DreamMax.
It's not a replay, it's not a loop time here. It's DreamMax once again defending the base as the best as they can. Once again, the Dragon Boys defending the base. And I don't know, I don't want to be early here, but I think that Entity7 is losing their chances to finish this game, and DreamMax like is defending their base, are getting stronger and stronger. Now they're playing like they have this confidence not like to not only be on their base, but now they are like, okay, we are allowed to move forward, we are allowed to like push this mini waves, especially on this sides. But Entity7 is aware about that. So now DreamMax, okay, just a little step far from the jungle. Okay, I got it back to the base. Okay, got it back home. Not going too far here, guys, because it might be very dangerous.
Yeah, there's only so many chances you get, I feel, before one of these mistakes costs you a Lord, costs you 2 or 3 players, where DreamMax is able to start pushing onto your base. Here, I feel like you're kind of even. You've lost the advantage of items and what a gold lead does for you. However, I feel like the comp has been such a great, persistent threat to a DreamMax that they have just yet to be able to come in and contest onto a Lord just yet. However, these pushes are going to be, if Entity7 cannot find a way to close in. Oh, they go on to Shin. They find Shin immediately, and they're going to blow him up. Immortality has been procced. Out comes the real world manipulation, and Hide on Bush is able to take down Shaikiche on the back end. Goo able to find a kill onto Shin. 2 down for the side of DreamMax. 3 down for the side of DreamMax. Hide on Bush laying it in as Doom finds a kill
Now
onto
it's
Blink.
over.
Out comes the SOD onto Goo, and he goes into the back line. Ladies and gentlemen, I think this might be a complete team wipe on the side of a DreamMax. Entity7 secure themselves a place in the top bracket of the playoffs.
1,000 minutes of the game here. Entity7 is able to guarantee the victory. 3-1 in this first best of 5, Cena.
DreamMax was doing so well there again with their they were able to contest them in the beginning, right? It's always during the end of the game they have a harder time with the aggression from Entity7 there.
I just feel like this composition, for some reason, they just found it so hard. Even the engagement was perfect. I felt like that's exactly, they found Shin, immediately dive onto him. However, they could not finish the job quickly enough. You had the immortality onto Shin, and Shikitse laid down the real world manipulation to try to take him down. But as soon as Shikitse showed herself, as soon as she laid down that real world manipulation, Hide on Bush charged back there, and she wasn't even able to get those final shots on the Shin. It took a Goo from the back end, and then you've wasted all of these resources trying to take down one member, and you have to deal with the rest of the team here, and Entity7 able to clean up after that fight.
Yeah, so once again here, Entity7, like, with a very interesting early and mid game here, like, almost the whole game coming up from Entity7, especially in getting the kills to Hide on Bush on Leomore and Akashi here with the Fovias. Doom playing very well, you know, like Entity7 like was like able to do and work so well, especially when it comes to the macro game in this last game. It was like making DreamMax dancing according to the music. But at some point of the game, I mean, I think like the fuel from Entity7, like it was over because they were trying to finish the game. They were trying to like open the base, open to cause more pressure here, and DreamMax was like getting back in the game just step by step, little by little. But still, I think that if Entity7 couldn't get this advantage on the early to mid game, and DreamMax were able to fight as equal, since like from the mid game at least, I think that the things could be different on this game so far.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to this, a lot of these fights here, I mean, the damage, Gord, maybe by himself, Phoveus maybe by himself. I think that damage, maybe you could have withstand that to try to get to the back lines, but both of them kind of raining down onto your composition at the same time was way too much damage for DreamMax to even think about trying to contest. Even when it came to the late game, where they should have been even, where all people were at max build, they still couldn't find a great opening to be able to come in because of the amount of damage that was able to come out from Entity7.
Yeah. I was thinking that you were right on the mark there, where they only had the damage from Bruno, really, because that you're like they need that damage in the draft. You were saying they got to get something bursty, something to kind of help them with this damage, because all of them are control or something to kind of help the damage or do something about there. All right, well, this player was the engine behind their team's success today. We got Doom there with all his right on the mark SODs, except for one of them. But you know what? 3011 KDA, 81.6k total damage, 701 gold per minute. He did an outstanding job out there on the field.
Yeah, it was well deserved to hear for the MVP from Doom. Like many players of Entity7 played so well, but here, especially with this global presence coming out from this ultimate, the Spear of Destruction, every time like DreamMax was concerning about like a Doom join the fight, join this this situation, and at the same time he was able to like do this split push to working on this macro here with Moskov. After 4 items, Moskov is like a machine gun here of like like damage and auto attacks. So it was really good for Entity7 to guarantee that a Doom could be stronger on this game.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the fact, I think you pointed it out. There was a lot of great fights that Entity7 was winning without Doom even being a part of it. Add that to the fact that he was able to join the fights whenever he needed to. There too, immediately able to catch. There is no escape from him. Whether it was Chaikitse trying to